hello, and welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, New Japan, everything in between, every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
I mean, if I'm talking all jacked up, it's because the cracked lips of dry Las Vegas has fucked me over WrestleMania weekend. It was dry as fucking Vegas. You will never appreciate water more so than being in Vegas during a dry weekend. Like,
Well, it was
had me damn near taking the sensors off that shit. Out my hotel room. Paying $20 an ounce for water and shit. Like, Jesus.
Well, it was good for the wrestling wit and the wet lips, as we interviewed Mike Biggs and Adonis Allen last week. Two incredible interviews. Definitely go check those out if you haven't already in the archives. But always looking towards the future. This Monday, yes, we're bringing back the Monday interviews at the ending of the month. We have Chris Kendricks. We talk about his time at Dr. Tom's school. We talk about being new in his wrestling journey, taking a break from wrestling for a while, coming back, and anime as well. So definitely a fun chat there. On Tuesday we have Dave Jameson, somebody a little further into his career. We talk about having multiple championships from multiple not countries, multiple companies. We talk about being a second generation wrestler with wrestling his uncle, his father being a promoter. We talk about transformations of his character, and even a cameo in JCW as well. So that's definitely a fun one as well. And then this Wednesday we have Leslie Lorenzo. We talk about becoming a new father, taking some time off from pro wrestling, coming back wanting gold and vengeance. We talk about a Waffle House match, and we talk about winning tag team gold in his first match ever. So a lot to unfold in those interviews. I believe Leslie's, it's his first ever interview ever as well. So, new content from Wrestling Wit. So, definitely check those out when they drop, this week. And always looking towards the future. On the 5th, we have Kamikaze. On the 6th, we have Luke Powers. On the 12th, we have Adam Morton. And on the 13th, we have Bull Madrid. So, May already heating up to be a good month for Wrestling Wit. Definitely check out our social media for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Alright, I think we're done putting ourselves over. Kaliko, no?
Oh yeah, I got some people to put over, all right. I got some.
Well, it's a great day.
Actually, I got a list to bury. Rather.
You have a over under list.
Yes, over under list. Yes,
Gotcha.
correct.
Well, it's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. And it was not a good day for WWE employees as the after Mania cuts were made. And we have the full list as of this recording. More may be released as time progresses, but this is the list as it stands now. Alright, we have Alba Fire, Aleister Black, Andre Chase, Apollo Crews, Bo Dallas, Chris Island, Dante Chen, Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan, Joe Gacy, Kairi Sane, Luca Cristofino, Malik Blade, the Motor City Machine Guns, Nikki Cross, Santos Escobar, Serena Linton, Trill London, Tyra May Steels, Tyreek Iwee, Tyson DuPont, Zelina Vega, and Zoe Starks. Kaliko, what name sticks out the most to you on that list?
Um, it was funny. I was just talking to my insider about this. And do you know how conflicted he is with this? Because half that roster is on LFG season 3 in the first 4 episodes.
Okay, so they just didn't get cut; they got cut.
They got cut, and but the problem is the episode's already done and they're ready to get premiered.
Right.
So, there's that part. Like Zelina Vega, Aleister Black, a lot of those guys were the guys that were doing LFG. I mean, Aleister and Zelina will be okay. The one I felt most sorry for was Zoe Stark, because it was like every time she kind of got caught into the Tegan Knox role. Like every time she tried to gain traction, she tore her ACL. It was just like, I felt like that was like potential that could have been, right?
Right. No, you're not wrong.
Like that's the one I think that breaks my heart the most. Andre Chase, I mean, Chase U was over, but after Chase U, it kind of fizzled for him. So it was kind of hard to come back from that, because especially for a guy like him, because he got pigeonholed into that character. So once you're pigeonholed, it's hard to evolve from that, right?
And that gimmick was never going to get over on the main roster as well.
Right, because it requires people to love like the spirit of college, and that is a tough sell
for the main
for
roster,
people
anyway.
like. For the main roster, because you got to think. Not that many people go to college, so you're trying to sell the spirit of college. Granted, it might have worked in the Southeast because they don't have to go to college to love college football, or the Midwest, but from a national standpoint, yeah, it's tough. Apollo Crews.
It's hilarious. Apollo Crews is hilarious to me because, like, he literally just popped up last week. It was like, oh, hey, Apollo Crews is still employed there. And then
in the Battle Royal, right? And I'm like, holy shit, he's
still employed. And then obviously Triple H felt the same way. It's like, holy shit, he's still employed. Cut.
There was a bunch of them, like him. Who else was there? Who else was in that Royal Rumble? I mean, it was half of the fucking Royal Rumble's gone. So shit, there you go.
Yeah.
But
I was honestly most.
Cristofino.
Yeah. Oh, continue.
I mean, Cristofino never really got anything going after the Tony D'Angelo thing, and then Tony D'Angelo comes back like fucking the Geico caveman, and that's a thing. But I mean, he kind of got X'd out after the whole mafia thing went down. A lot of these people that got cut, I mean, in the Wyatt Six, Jesus Christ, that's just, I mean, they just got rid of everybody there. They were like, fuck it, like, cut the losses.
I'll put a pin in that for a moment, but the one that really surprised me the most was Kairi Sane, because, like, she was, like, in a major rivalry in a major program with Asuka and Io. And obviously,
yes,
she was bullied through, like, that whole long, program. Never got her comeuppance, never got that match with Asuka, never got going. So, I mean, it's that all of that was kind of wasted because she's not. It was the battle for Kairi.
There's no payoff.
Right.
Yeah, there's no payoff, and that's the other part, because it's like, but then again, people, it kind of feels like I have to give my insider on this because the 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 going thing is that she was kind of like reckless and more mistake prone in the ring in the beginning. So it kind of like
That's interesting because
I
I
guess that
never heard that about Kyrie.
I mean, she was kind of, she was kind of botchy at like towards like the middle of last year.
I mean, there's a difference between being
Uh,
botchy and being dangerous, I would say.
I mean, but I mean, it's kind of like that reputation. But I don't know. I have to get with my connect to vouch for that part. But he's still in shock because he was like, "Damn, that's half of LFG." Like I said, season 3. So,
Right.
God, and they were recording LFG at WWE World. So that's where it's like, well, shit, we got all this content, and you just cut half the motherfuckers that are on the content. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, like, what's the point?
it's like, what's the fucking point, right? So you got that part. So I mean, yeah, Kyrie is also an interesting one because shit, they were just doing the whole trio thing with Asuka and Io, and
Right.
I don't get what their angle is. But you knew it was coming, though. You kind
Oh,
of
yeah.
knew these cuts were coming. The shocking ones were like, holy shit,
Yeah.
because it
And
felt like Aleister Black and Zelina Vega got cut.
honestly,
Right?
no.
It's kind.
I
They were
don't.
useless after the Damian Priest
Right.
feud, but
I don't think that anybody was truly shocking except Kyrie, honestly, because Alistair kind of took that, Karrion Cross role, and I'm sorry, but Karrion Cross didn't get over in that role. So, what was Alistair Black going to be any different in that role? Uh, I'm upset for Selena because, like, she was a chicken salad maker. I mean, she could, like, everything that they gave her, like, she tried to make it work. Like, Queen of the Ring, LWO, even being good with her
oh,
husband.
the U.S. title run.
Yeah. So, I mean, she tried with what she was given, but, it just never clicked, unfortunately. But I feel like she was somebody that you could have still utilized or capitalized, even though she was kind of in wrestling purgatory, so to speak. You know what I mean?
I mean, but true. But then again, they cut like literally everybody from the Secret Harvest for Chelsea Green. So
Yeah, I feel bad for
it,
Alba because she was good in that role, and now nobody, Chelsea has nobody to push her in her wheelchair, and that's sad.
yeah, it's basically her and herself. Like she got to get some more. I mean, although you're at WWE World, they had. I mean, I think the people are protecting Chelsea Green at all costs. I'm just dead ass serious. Like, the amount of support that she has. I mean, just because she kind of goes out of her way when it comes to like fan interaction, that that alone is going to keep people protecting her at all costs.
Oh yeah, but I also it's not really a surprise that the Riot Six got cut because unfortunately they never they came back, they got pops, but they were kind of pigeonholed in a tag team division, even though there was multiple of them, and they never really did anything, and they never put the pieces together. You know, I would say that Bray was always interesting before he got into the ring, but when the bell rang, it kind of was what it was when it came to the matches. But, I mean, Riot 6 never even got to get to the matches. They didn't even get to do the promos going forward. I feel like they left a lot on the table because they could have done something with Howdy and John Cena. They could have done something with Howdy and Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, etc., etc. But they never went there. And I don't know if that's because they didn't believe in Bo, that they gave him, the Bray Wyatt push, or what. But it, there was a lot. I feel like there was a lot of potential there that they never really decided to pull the trigger on. And unfortunately, it just everything that they did fell to the wayside.
Um, I, I think they were a victim of being pigeonholed into a teamless tag division.
I mean, it was probably one of the SmackDown had one of the strongest tag team divisions at one point. I would say, while they were
That is true, but
while they were
that's
tag team
true.
champions. Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't like they were doing because it was. I mean, even with the Y6, it was easy to kind of make them do like a Freebird rule. They literally could have made it the Freebird rule.
But they never did.
Thus,
did they?
But they never did, and no, they never did. It was always Gacy and Loomis.
Yeah.
So that is why I was like, okay, you put them, because it would have been a lot. It would have been more logical for them to rule the tag team division if they were implementing the Freebird rule, because you wouldn't know who you got. You could have got Howdy and Loomis. You would have got Howdy and Gacy. You would have got Gacy and Loomis. You would have got Loomis. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
It would have made it interesting because it would have been different people on different given nights, which would have made it hard. And honestly, I think that would have gave them a longer reign as tag champions, because you never knew who you were going to get on any given night.
Right.
But for some odd reason, they seem to not implement the Freebird rule for them, and that's kind of hell. Even Nikki Cross could have jumped in that fray, right?
I mean, they don't do a lot of intergender, but I cut what you mean.
The neutral gender, but my point is that could have been on the table, right?
Right. I understand.
And they never, right. So it just never fermented into anything, and people were just kind of like, okay, you're Bray Wyatt's underlings. What are you going to do from there? And I kind of put that on the WWE because, to be quite honest, you knew that Bray was kind of like the brainchild of where this was going to go. And you kind of pigeonholed them to carry the legacy of someone where they don't even know where Bray was going, if that makes sense.
But I feel like, unfortunately, at times it felt like Bray didn't know where it was going. And that's kind of where...
Well, I would say Bray got kind of pigeonholed into where he was going. Because I could see him wanting to go one way, and Vince would make him go another way.
But the thing with Bray was that he was always in a prominent position. He was always upper mid card, and they never gave Bo Dallas that same regard. They never gave him that opportunity. You know what I mean?
No, right. I mean, the best that they gave it to him was when he was the NXT champion.
No, I'm talking about in the Howdy gimmick. Like, we only got...
I mean, the Howdy gimmick...
We only got him versus
No, go ahead.
They gave us Chad Gable and Solo Sikoa, and that was literally it.
Yeah, but I would have... I mean, that's what kind of threw me off, because it just seemed like... I would have thought Bray had a whole... I mean, they only could have went after Randy Orton, the person that set him on fire. They only could... it was a lot of people that they could have went,
there was no
on that shit list.
There was no shortage of people, Kaliko. There was no shortage.
Right? No. But that's my point. There was no shortage of people, yet they got pigeonholed into certain people.
Right. And
So I put that on creative, because you mean to tell me Uncle Howdy coming back, going after Randy Orton, like, motherfucker, you set him on fire. We going at it.
right. I think that because obviously Bray Wyatt was the brainchild of all of this gimmick, so he was obviously going to be the one dictating what happened. And I don't think that the
Right.
writers that were assigned to this gimmick necessarily
Knew
knew
what the fuck was going on.
what they wanted to do with it. And I don't think that
Right.
Bo had enough of a voice, whether that's, him actually speaking up or having, a little bit of power to actually flex and say, this is what my brother would have wanted. That's complete speculation on my part, but it kind of seems like the most likely of scenarios.
Right. And like, he didn't have the leverage to dictate where the story of Bray goes. Yeah, I mean, that totally makes sense.
Right. Well, as we go out with the old, there is always new. And on Monday, we got new. Ethan Page and Sol Ruka were made their WWE main roster debuts. I think Ethan is going to strive on Raw. I'm really glad that he's on Raw, and I think that they really gave him a really solid first night on the show, fighting obviously Javon, who he has history with, so they could work well together, and it really showed him off really well. So I think it's all up from here. Just give him, the opportunities and he'll hit home runs. Um, Sol Ruka, on the other hand, I would say that the match was solid by all means. The promo was a little bit wonky, but I think we'll get there with her. We'll talk about Tuesday after we get your comments about their debuts.
I mean, Ethan's got the mouthpiece where it could save him, right?
Right.
So Ethan has and granted, I'm assuming that they're just gonna keep him heel. As long as they keep him heel, he'll be okay, because he has the aura of a person that you would love to hate, right?
Yes.
Soul, on the other hand, it's really, really dicey on the Raw roster,
Really?
because it's the reason I say it's dicey is because let's face it. The top of the card is what? Liv, Stephanie, Io.
Oscar.
Well, no, considering Io is on SmackDown, but Asuka.
No, Io stayed
Who
on
else
Raw.
is on that roster?
Rhea went to
Oh,
SmackDown.
Io staying on Raw. So you got those three. So the problem is that, like, she kind of has to separate herself from the two most popular people on that. I mean, the three most popular, to be quite honest. Because Liv, even though she's a heel, she's uber popular.
Right.
Io is uber popular, and then Stephanie is. I kind of feel like. I feel like they're waning on her because of the language barrier, but yet they don't do it for Io. It's kind of weird how that works, right?
I think that if they're
But
waiting on her for any reason, it's because it was the the rivalry she had with Liv was a little wonky, if I'm being honest. So I mean, get her into a proper rivalry where you could actually protect her where you need to protect her, and I think she'll be fine.
well, it was wonky because it came from a bad angle.
Right.
Cause like for Stephanie to tell Liv that Liv didn't earn shit when we sat here and watched Liv grind for 10 years, like, bitch, who are you talking to? You know what I'm saying? It put her in a bad position, what I'm saying.
Right.
And and that's where I'm kind of, like I said, it's dicey with Soul, because I can see them putting Soul, if they put someone of Stephanie's caliber in that dicey position, I can see them putting her Soul in a dicey position. And
So,
considering that Soul's not the strongest on the mic,
right.
and 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 especially when it's Raw, you kind of gotta separate yourself as the character, and that is where I say it's dicey, because
And
Io, for all intents and purposes, her character is kind of set. The aerobatic chick who can't speak English but will fucking dive off anything,
and will fuck
and
you up. Io has an attitude
and
to
will
her.
yeah, and will fuck you up. So the problem is that Soul is kind of like the English version of that. Yet, it's like they could kind of pitch out, well, we already got that with Io.
So, Soul is Soul going into her, debut was in a really good position. And I feel like these last 2 days, and that's insane to say, the 2 days, and they kind of shit all over her and kind of ruined her, because that promo on Raw did not do her any favors against Liv, by any stretch of the imagination. And then you go into the match with Zarya, the last woman standing match, and my God, was that the worst but that was the worst match I've seen in a really long time, because it made both girls look like absolute shit. Zarya, for anybody that doesn't know, they were on that pedestal that's behind um, the announcer's table. There was two
Yeah,
tables
yeah,
were set underneath them, and they were fighting to see who was going to throw who off. Now, Sol got advantage of Zarya, and she was holding onto her. All she had to do was let go. Zarya would drop, and she would win the match. But Zarya is like, no, no, Sol, I love you, Sol. You're my best friend. I'm so sorry. And it made Zarya look so bad, because she's supposed to be like this killer from the Badlands, and this Mad Max girl that will fuck you up, and she's literally begging for mercy for a girl that's like two times two times less the size of her, and
right.
and then Soul brings her in for a hug and saves her and forgives her. And it makes Soul look like shit, because you knew that Zarya was going to betray her in that moment. It makes her look like a chump. And she was a chump. And Zarya could have drew. All she did was push her. And it wasn't even that good of a push. And ironically enough, that push fucked her up more than it necessarily needed to. And it looked a lot worse if she had done something more. She could have powerbombed her off her. She could have slammed her. She could have made the push look a little better than it actually did. It made both of them look so bad. And I feel like Soul, going forward, really needs to have an attitude adjustment to say, and I have a bit of an ego to say, yeah, I was double fucking champion. Yeah, I held 2 champions at one time. Yeah, I almost won the Royal Rumble one time. My best friend was sour grapes on me because I'm so great. She needs an edge. She's too timid right now. And if she keeps that timid nature, she's gonna get eaten. She needs confidence going forward. Agree?
Well, the problem with this is that all of this could have been avoided had Zarya just dominated from Jump Street, from Stand and Deliver on.
Yeah.
Because you want to know why, the reason why that is, because it would have kept Soul in the I don't know what happened phase. And it would have kept her, it would have kept her in that phase and trying to figure it out, right? Trying to, it would have, like her getting her ass handed by Zarya, a new and improved Zarya, would force her to try to find that edge, if that makes sense.
No, you're absolutely right. But I mean,
So
even
that's why I was like, it made no sense for Soul to beat Zarya at Stand and Deliver when Zarya is the one who has the better grudge against Soul, because Soul has done it all. So it would have made sense for Soul to be like, to be in the position that I have done it all. I don't know what's happening, but I need to figure out how to get back to where I was, or to level up to ascend to a level past where I was. And that would have been a story arc to carry her to the main roster, because keep in mind, she goes to the main roster, goes against Liv beats her. That would have been another chink in the story arc of, I don't know what's going on, but I need to figure out what I need to do. Even with the NXT, like the last woman standing, her losing once again, another chink on the armor to get people to buy into her, because they already were sold on her when she beat Bailey.
right.
They were sold on her. So now you see, okay, I had the highest of highs, I'm at my lowest of lows, and I need to figure out what can I do to get to where I need to go. And that would have been an easy story to get people involved in, to get her to ascend. But for some odd reason, and that's a win-win, because Zarya gets to look dominant trying to go after the NXT Women's title, which, let's say she whooped Soul twice, you have a formidable opponent for Lola Ice.
Right.
So I, 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 I just don't get it. Like, even if Zarya loses, the point is you got someone who is formidable, look forward to rival her for the title. And then Soul could carry on onto the main roster trying to figure it out.
It's crazy
But
because
what do I know? I
like
don't know shit.
2 months ago, I mean like 3 months ago, I was like, I put money down that Soul was going to debut on the night after Raw. Like it was written in the stars. But I kind of imagined
Yeah.
that she'd be in the position that she's in right now, going there. That it's to the fact that, if she's not in a good position this time next year, she might be a part of those cuts. You know what I mean?
I I wouldn't go that far. I just think that when she beat Bailey, that's when they could have capitalized on it. Or when Zarya turned on her, that would have been another. They had two opportunities to capitalize at a high and at a low. When she beat Bailey, they should have capitalized on the high, but they didn't.
Right.
But now you're trying to capitalize on a low, but it is a low where it seems like you don't know what the hell she is, because how do you lose to a person that you beat at stand and deliver? You see what I'm saying?
Right. Well, I
And
mean,
that's what pisses me off the whole thing with this thing, because it was like, This should have been a Zarya clean sweep. Point blank, period.
It should have, but it didn't.
But now it's not. But now it makes, because I don't know. It's like, I'm pretty sure the NXT crowd and the Raw crowd are the same crowd.
Not necessarily.
Somewhat. No. Somewhat. Like, I would say 40%.
I would go a little lower than that, maybe 30%.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that Oba crowd seemed to carry over. Because the Trick Williams crowd seemed to carry over.
Because he's a big bastard that struts to the ring. Like, who's not going to cheer for that?
I
mean,
he made Brock retire. I'm just saying, like,
exactly.
Random dude makes Brock retire.
Okay, I mean,
we'll get to that later, but
I mean, if you never saw Obafemi wrestle before he made his debut on the main roster, wouldn't you say, look at that big, glorious bastard? What is he all about? Like, this guy has Brock Lesnar vibes to him. So, I mean, there's aura to Oba. And I'd even give that to Trick. Like, you didn't need to know a lot about them beforehand to like them. You know, they got themselves over in a short amount of time.
I don't know. Trick needed to use that mouthpiece a little bit, because that 10 pounds of bounce that ass promo had me like, yeah, he got it.
Right, but they gave him that opportunity. You know what I mean? He got over quickly. But
true.
He also knew who he was going into the main roster. Well, you know, it's funny because the Trick Williams that we have now wasn't the Trick Williams we had a year ago. He was kind of.
It wasn't a Trick Williams. Shit.
He was kind of in that weird in between, where he had just lost the championship to Oba. He was kind of face, kind of heel, tweener. He lost to Carl Fredericks, if you remember, and everything was kind of up in the air with him. Like, there was, like, even to him, like, there was a possibility for him to get cut, honestly, at one point. But he figured out, you know, the trick that we have now, and he went into the main roster strong. The bad timing with Sol is that she's in that happy medium of figuring herself out during her transition to the main roster.
Like I said, with I mean, I get your point. I just think that they could have defined something with Sol of an underdog trying to come back, because it made no sense to put her on debut on the main roster and lose to Liv when Liv's the most over person on that roster right now. I mean, on the Raw roster, that is.
I mean, the match was strong, I would say.
The match was strong, but it didn't serve Sol in the sense of, like, let's see, she loses Monday, she loses Tuesday. Now what? You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If she had a loss at NXT and then came, because I think that's what it is. I think it's just the back-to-back losses, because of the simple fact that she lost Monday and then lost Tuesday. If she had a loss at NXT and then came to the roster and lost, I could see it, because it's like, okay, you lost here, you ascended to the main roster, and then you lost. But the simple fact that she lost on the main roster, went back down to someone who she already beat, and then lost, it looks funky. It looks mad funky.
I agree. But somebody that's totally winning, I would say, is JC Jane and Fatal Attraction. I mean, they used her in 3 segments on SmackDown. and she had a match with Rhea Ripley. So, I mean, it kind of tells you how much they believe in JC. That, it's one thing to have a match with Liv Morgan, which, obviously she's a big star. But we could all agree that Rhea Ripley is that extra. I mean, she is the top tier, the John Cena of WWE right now. And for them to actually give her a match or debut night against Rhea, and that crowd was into it, and they did not like JC. So, and it didn't seem like this was like a one-off either. Obviously Fatal Attraction attacked Rhea afterwards, so like this is an ongoing issue.
Right.
I think that JC and Fatal Attractions is in a really good position right now. If JC was on her own, I would say, okay, she might sink. But considering that they brought, Fallon
The
and
whole they brought the whole
they
they
brought the
brought
whole
the whole
group,
crew.
it's gonna work, at least for now.
Well, well, I mean, it works because JC is a JC is to the women's division what Ethan is to the men's division, right? A person who you can boo, a person who you think that should get beat, and a person who can actually piss you off when they win.
Yes,
And that is that. And I think that to me is probably the best thing JC has going because she's going into the roster. And it's funny because I met her on, got to meet her at WWE World. And I was like, you know what's funny? People doubt the yeah, I thought of that. I was like, people doubt the shit out of you. And then I just told her, just keep winning and prove them wrong. Because that's going to be the biggest catalyst for her is the ability to prove people wrong. The ability to, oh shit, if you think you don't like her now, wait till you see her pin Rhea Ripley.
exactly.
Then you really gonna hate her, right?
You know,
Or
low low
if
key,
you
I
think you don't
actually
like
thought
her
they were
now,
gonna give
wait
her
till
the
she
W.
beats Io.
Low
Right.
key, I thought they were actually gonna give her the W on Rhea, just to just cement that. Because before, like, the crowd like really hated her. like like I get that she broke up Paige's first match back on SmackDown, but like they understood the assignment, and I think JC like responded to it fantastic, like an expert. And I think when she gets the championship, and I think that at some point she's going to get championship, she is going to be operating on a higher level than all the other girls because of what you just said.
I'm gonna
I
let you
will.
know right now. Do not be surprised if she wins Money in the Bank.
That would be, yes. That would fit JC perfectly. I will give her the biggest compliment I can actually give her, and I'm going to say that JC Jane is the female Chris Jericho
Wow.
because she puts it all together. Well, like you said, she's very beatable, and yet she wins the matches that she's not supposed to win. So if what she did on NXT translates to the main roster, it's going to be 10 times what she did on NXT, undoubtedly.
I mean, yeah, because like we said, they don't like her. So when she wins, all it does is pisses them off even more so.
Right. Two people that got vignettes for debuts was Ricky Starks and Blake Monroe. I kind of feel like that was kind of cutting the the wings underneath from underneath them, like right from the beginning, because you don't really know anything about Ricky Starks doesn't need a match, to kind of start off his career. He needs a promo. You don't really know who Ricky Starks is until he starts speaking. And I feel like they're kind of doing him a disservice at this point by kind of just giving him a promo. a vignette, I should say. Mariah May, I mean, it could start off rocky from the beginning, but I could definitely see her getting her feet underneath her when she needs to. Um, but I don't. I think that the next couple of weeks are going to be very apparent for Ricky, whether he succeeds or fails, because they gave Ethan exactly what he needed to succeed. But I don't know if they're going to give Ricky that same, grace. What are your thoughts?
Well, they both can talk. Although I don't know what they're trying to do with Ethan in the sense of are they going to make him a face or a heel? Because
He's totally a heel.
because my thing is with Ethan, you know what he is. In the same way with JC, you know their role, right? Their
Right.
role is kind of semi-defined while you're trying to figure out because and that's the other thing too. You got like a bunch of heels jumping in at one time. It kind of gets kind of overcrowded in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you're just giving, okay, JC comes in and attacks one person, then Blake comes in and deals with another person, and then Ricky comes in and deals with another person. Because I could see like a Ricky trying to go after Carmelo. Um, I could see Blake trying to go after. I'm trying to think who the hell is the face on SmackDown right now
Tiffany.
because they didn't. I mean, Tiffany's kind of stuck with Julia. I can see her going after Jordan Grace again.
But, I mean, we did
Um,
that.
re- they did it in NXT, but you know that. You know they are not above recycling. Come
This
on,
is
bro.
true.
So,
I mean,
uh,
clearly,
so
Javon
I
and
could
Ethan.
no, yeah, exactly. So I could see them doing that just to get like feet wet intro. You know what I mean? So I, I'll give that the benefit of the doubt. Because only so many people, only so many heels can debut at one time,
Right.
and clearly the stars were Ethan and JC for this week, and then you can kind of start integrating the others in the next week.
Well, returning stars is the Street Profits. They helped Seth Rollins take on the Vision. And they looked good too. So, I'm gonna be honest. I popped for the Street Profits. They came out to their original theme, which is always appreciated. So
Finally,
yeah. So I mean, their run on
fucking
SmackDown
overdue.
was abysmal. I'm sorry to say it. Um, I felt like they've always worked better on Raw anyway. So hopefully they could be the Street Profits again and work well and maybe get another title run. Like it's been like 5 years. I mean, it might have been 6 years since the last time they've held Tag Gold.
No, they had it last year.
They had it last.
Yeah, remember?
I don't remember that.
Oh wow, you don't remember? So they carried it. Remember, they carried the tag titles up until. I mean, they were the reason the tag division was kind of strong as far as like match wise.
Hmm. I
Because it was them, the Motor City Machine Guns, DIY, the Wyatt Six.
I mean those championships hot potatoed so much. Couldn't I it was kind of I couldn't remember who had them at what point.
Well, I do know the profits on them. I do know that because they were kind of pissed. Remember, they were the champs last year and they didn't get a match at Mania, which made them pissed off.
I do remember that. Yes, they had the ladder match the night before, if I seem to remember.
So yeah, but back on Raw, it gives the Vision. It gives Paul and Austin somebody to deal with, and now we just got to figure out why the Profits came out for Seth and them. So for Seth. So once we figure that out, or maybe the Profits just want to get back to being the Profits. So as long as they're back to being the Profits, honestly, like be quite honest, they be kind of lost as that pride shit. Excuse me. So I want them to come back. To be quite honest, I want the Profits that was whooping motherfuckers in the parking lot. I
Yeah,
ain't even. I, I ain't gonna lie to you. I want them Profits back.
yeah, I agree. I mean, those were the good Profits.
Those were the good Profits. The I'm gonna beat your ass in the parking lot. Come see me in the ring Profits. Like
Well, hopefully it actually works out. Some new potential signees. This is rumor and innuendo at this point, but there was maybe a bit of a tease on it on NXT. New Japan Pro Wrestling's Evil has reportedly signed with WWE and will be coming in. He obviously won't be using the Evil moniker. Maybe he'll be good. Who knows? Um, but
the Diet Coke of evil. Just 1 calorie, not evil enough.
not evil enough. Um, but yeah, uh, he's probably reporting to NXT to kind of figure things out. But another guy rumored and innuendo to be joining WWE is Hiromu Takahashi. Um, who, I mean, obviously, time bomb, like one of the biggest stars in New Japan at one point. Um, I I think that NXT would be great for Evil, but I mean, Hiromu, he's kind of on the older side at this point. Like, he's not, a young, he's not Javon Evans, let's say, but he can,
He's not a young lion anymore.
right. So I would feel like he's always had like that chaotic energy to him. Throw him on the main roster. Let him be that chaotic time bomb that we all know. Let him have a banger or two with Dragon Lee, and let him wrestle Javon. Give him. It, there's not a lot to understand with Hiromu, and he doesn't need to speak English for you to understand that this guy is just fucking out of his mind. Kind of like Io in some regards. So I think that if they do sign Hiromu, I think that it would be the best idea to just throw him on the main roster and see if he sinks or swims. But what are your thoughts? Evil and Hiromu, possibly coming to WWE.
Hiromu would have been dope if there was a cruiserweight division.
We don't want to do for 205 again.
But the problem is that in New Japan he got pigeonholed to that. That's why I kind of wish he moved up to heavyweight, because if he was heavyweight, he would have kind of got taken seriously on the main roster as a possible champion. You see what I'm saying?
Right. I mean,
So that's where it kind of it pigeonholes him in that regard. Evil will be okay because he has the size and the girth. And I'm not saying Hiromu doesn't. It's just that they're gonna have to do a lot of selling for him to be like one of the guys in the top to like upper card. Because I could see him getting stuck in that US IC division, never really kind of going beyond that.
I'm sorry, but I don't And I mean, I love Hiromu, but I never saw him being a top tier guy. I saw him in that, mid card intercontinental United States position.
Right.
I mean, unless the crowd really gets behind him, but, that's, an if, not a win.
Yeah, that is. I mean, that is another. Yeah, your list of God eaters is the if, not a win. So yeah, you're right about that.
Well, I mean, it could all just be for nothing at this point because WWE, well, TKO president Ben Shapiro and uh, stated that he and Aria Emanuel are in complete control of WWE's creative. That nothing goes. I mean, obviously Triple H is in charge of everything, but they have the last say so. Um,
Hmm.
I mean, it doesn't seem like that was new information at this point. I mean, they are his bosses, and I mean that is very prevalent at this point, considering the TKO the Pat McAfee Jelly Roll involvement in WrestleMania. So I mean, I would hope, and I mean that was the whole point of Cody Rhodes' promo on Friday, was let us do our jobs and just collect the money. Because I mean, these guys are not people that had anything to do with pro wrestling or know how pro wrestling works. They just distribute the money. So I mean, I understand where they're like, well, I mean, they brought WWE on a boom period where we were on the route to finishing the story with Cody, and people genuinely wanted to be at these shows and sell out. But even when they raise prices, people will still, going to these shows. And now, every boom period has to end, and, the product is not as good as it used to be. And, I understand where they're like, well, how do we raise that up? Well, obviously, first and foremost, don't have it WrestleMania in the same place you had it last year, but nobody told them that. I digress. But, obviously they're looking for ways to build it up, but they just made things worse, not better. You know what I mean?
I mean, we'll get to that when we get to Mania, but because I got a lot to say about that. But it's weird because they're trying to take what works in the UFC to work in the WWE and vice versa, right?
And it does not
And and
translate.
and and as a person that watches both, because I watch UFC and WWE, it seems like UFC tries to be more WWE with like the calling out and the promos and da 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 da, right? And then you see the WWE, they're trying to put more emphasis on, or TKO is trying to put more emphasis on celebrity and mass appeal to sell the product, not realizing that I see what they were trying to do. They're trying to get a celebrity in there to sell the fight between Cody and Randy.
But it didn't need it.
But the problem was it didn't need it because all you needed to do was have a good, and we'll get into it when we get to Mania. Night two literally sold itself
Yeah.
just based on the wrestling. Because if you had told me that going into WrestleMania that Jade Cargill and Rhea Ripley would have a better match than Bakura and Liv, I'd be looking at you crazy. but that seemed to have happened. So that's why I'm like, they're still trying to interfere in something where you really don't need it. You just need to let the wrestling do its thing. And to be quite honest, I think they were probably the biggest emphasis on, oh well, we got to get these stars to get off of their like day off schedules, because it's weird that Brock would retire, the person who had the biggest part time schedule would 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 retire, right?
Right.
So something is trying to give, because Roman usually doesn't even have a full time schedule, and he announced one, but I think they're just trying to emphasize and maximize gain and profit, which is fine. You're a business, that's what you're supposed to do. But the biggest issue is that you're kind of trying to get away from what makes people like the wrestling in the first place, which is the stories. If the story makes sense, it sells itself.
Right.
I mean,
And that was
I didn't want to
prevalent
go back.
between the
I,
night 1 and night 2.
oh, it was fucking. Oh my god! Don't get me started. But we'll get there when we get there.
Did you want to finish? Was you done with your thought?
Yeah, I was done with my thought, because we're gonna. I know we're gonna get to Mania, and I don't want to spoil what the hell I got to say on Mania.
Well, let's talk about what going into WrestleMania. Um, they were obviously in, Vegas. Obviously a city that does not sleep. A lot of the wrestlers was housed in the Mandalay Bay and surrounding, hotels. And usually, like in at times like these, like fans would be, respectful and, not bother these people. Obviously you have some outliers here and there, but I would say that this was straight up savage for what these fans, and I loosely use the word fans, honestly, because we don't know why these people were here or not. But
Right,
they were crowding and swarming the wrestlers while they were, alone, or, on the casino floor, or, private time, let's just call it. As
right,
a lot of people seen, CM Punk swatted a phone out of a fan's hand that was taking a video of Bailey and AJ when they respectfully asked him, to stop. Somebody tried to take a video of Booker T on the toilet. So, I mean, these are not right people. And I don't know if these were people that were there for the show, or if these were people that were trying to get a fast buck, like, the people at the airport, or like
hmm
what. But like, and I kind of, because I was in Vegas for Sunday and only Sunday, it didn't seem like the normal crowd you would see for a wrestling event. It did seem like it was a bit more off than that. And not like you could talk to a lot of these people and like they would be like your best friend like immediately. And
hmm
a lot of these events are, low key chill. And WrestleMania, at least night 2, which was the show I was at, these people were not chill. And like I'm I'm a bit timid, I'll say it, when meeting new people. But these people did not look like approachable, or like they were nice, or like ready to watch wrestling. Like there was a lot of agitation there. Maybe because they had to pay like massive thousands of dollars for, shows. I could not tell you. But I mean, you were there like a lot longer than I was. What was your experience with all of this?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I got there. I was at Thursday, so Thursday to Monday, give or take. So roughly, I mean, I got there Thursday night, so I missed night one of WWE World, but I was there from like day two till Sunday. They had one Monday. I didn't go because I went home, just for disclosure. The atmosphere, in a sense, I could. I'm gonna put this in a three prong answer because there's three groups of people that I kind of noticed. You had the people that were there in Vegas that had the money and was able to do everything and enjoy the experience, and they had no complaints. Right?
Okay.
That that's the swath of people. So the people who had the money for the meet and greets, bought the meet and greets, went to the meet and greets, went to the shows, so on and so forth, right? Then on the middle portion, you had the people who probably had money for Mania, maybe did a couple of WWE Worlds, didn't really do the meet and greets, more like Superstar Row, kind of that lane, right? Not as a good a time as someone who probably had the money to do everything, or the $10,000 Cody bus, but pretty decent. I think I would put myself in that category, right?
Hmm.
But then you got the people who, on the extreme side, who feel they don't have the money for the meet and greets. They pretty much probably put everything that they had just to get there. And wanting to maximize the most of being able to see wrestlers, even though it infringed on people's privacy, if that makes sense.
I mean, it does.
Because because the biggest thing that people had problems with, or the biggest thing that wrestlers have problems with, was the fact that parents was using their kids as shields to get them to, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that group, the group that, hey, dude, all I had to do was, I don't have money for the meet and greets. The meet and greets may have been sold out. I don't have, the people that I wanted to meet, the only time that I could meet them is probably in the hotel, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um,
But do you think that there was that many people? Because like
yes,
it was like a mob of
yes.
people.
No, no, yes, yes. You'd be surprised. Yes. Depending, especially when you consider that a lot of the tickets didn't get sold until the day of. Yes, that's more people than you think.
Hmm.
And those are the people who are like, feel priced out. And I'm not saying that it's justified that they do what they did. It's just that they feel priced out and they think that they have no other alternative than to do this, which once again is not right. And and this is where this whole CM Punk lower the prices, those are the people he's kind of speaking for, even though those people are the people that are kind of infringing upon his privacy.
Right.
So it's like I said, it's just a weird dichotomy when it comes to that, because Vegas in itself is already an area where people are getting priced out. And then you throw in the factor of wrestling, which is generally usually an affordable thing for a family. And to be quite honest, since TKO took over, it just feels like people are getting priced out.
Right.
or not even feels like, people are getting priced out. Um,
How
so
significantly, how different was your experience this year being in Vegas compared to the last year when you were in Vegas?
um, that is a good question. I think last year I was in a different financial situation than I was this year. This year I was able to enjoy WrestleMania like it's nobody's business. But but then again, I'm a person who knows the system. So I know how to, because you got to think people are buying tickets, spending thousands of tickets for the FOMO, and no one's really holding the line until the final day. Like I'm the guy that like I'm holding the line up until like the final hour to buy a ticket. Because, but that's just how I play it. It's a risk. This, I mean, just like this year from last year, I pretty much was in the same area. Not like, I mean, I'm pretty much in the same area, Celebrity Row. I was with, I took a picture with Bud Crawford this year, just like I did last year. George Kittle was right there this year, the same way he was there last year. Hinchcliffe was there this year, the same way he was there last year. I think the biggest difference is that last year had a lot of mitigating factors that did not factor into this year. Last year was the first time in Vegas since WrestleMania 9, John Cena's last WrestleMania, the prestige in Las Vegas, um, the travel last year was not like this year. Um, so yeah, it was a lot of mitigating factors that kind of went into that. Vice this year, people were as much as people liked going to Vegas, you could tell people were pissed that they were in Vegas because they were looking forward to New Orleans because, like I say, New Orleans was a financial recovery for Vegas because New Orleans is very affordable, which is why people were pissed off about it. And then you look at the fact that people probably lost money because they put money into trying to get the room, and then all of a sudden it got switched to Vegas, and now they got to flip it to Vegas. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So there's already a lot of resentment running around there. And I can tell you right now, I went to both nights. Night one was vastly less populated than night two.
I kind of got that. Like it was
Uh,
as somebody and I will get there when in a moment, but like you could see like there was definitely a lot of empty seats night one from TV.
oh yeah, I mean, dude, I was night one. I was right behind Bud Crawford the entire time, second row.
Yeah,
I mean, Deion Dawkins was still there. I mean, he was there. He was cool as shit. I mean, Andrew Wiggins was there. The cast of Street Fighter was there. They weren't there night two, but yeah. But night two seemed to be the night everyone kind of cared about.
yeah.
And mainly, because of course Brock's there, and then the Roman Punk match. But
Well, you know who wasn't there?
it's,
Ric Flair. He was actually banned from coming to WrestleMania because he threatened to kick Tiffany Stratton's husband's ass. For context,
ex-husband
they were never
or
married.
ex-boyfriend.
They were
What's
they
ex-boyfriend?
were dating. But I
Ex,
mean, that's
yeah,
what he said.
ex-boyfriend.
But I mean, why is Ric Flair threatening Ludwig Kaiser? Like, legitimately, why is this an
I
issue and a problem?
I have no clue. I could not tell you. But Ric Flair he's been running his mouth anyway because he's like, I should have inducted Rodman, da, 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 da. So
But
it,
why would
the
Ric Flair
relation,
have inducted
the
Rodman? It made the most sense for Kevin Nash to do it.
But the thing is that like the relationship that these wrestlers have with WWE is not the same relationship that they have with TKO.
Right.
And that is the biggest factor because keep in mind, what, it's 3 years, old habits die hard. It's hard to go from it's like, how can I put it? The WWE was like the Los Angeles Lakers, the mom and pop shop where everyone knew everybody and everything kind of ran off of nepotism and relationships. And they both sold it to a group of people who want to run it completely differently than a mom and pop shop.
I think it wouldn't have mattered who ran WWE. I think that they still would have banned Ric Flair.
Nah, because I don't see Vince banning Ric Flair. I could see TKO banning Ric Flair, but I don't see
No,
Vince.
I
If Vince was
totally
there,
see
he
Vince.
was not banning Ric
I
Flair.
would definitely see Vince saying, "God damn, pal, why is he threatening Americano? 86 it."
Just, no, nah, I don't see it. Uh, I don't see it. I mean, Triple H able to smooth everything over. I'm pretty sure he would have smoothed that over.
I don't
But
think that Triple H has time to smooth things over at this point. He's forever stressed.
I mean, it ain't of his own attrition. Everybody just, I mean, don't fuck up his pacemaker, man. I don't need all that shit.
They're definitely testing it for sure.
Oh yeah, they're putting it on strain. They're straining the fuck out of it, but that's neither here nor there.
Alright. I think that will conclude our news for this week, unless there's some grievances you have that are not prevalent to WrestleMania, or it will be included in WrestleMania talk.
Actually, yeah, I do. I really do because I'm just gonna give people the game when it comes to WWE world. Um, because I
Awesome.
happen to know the staff, the Fanatic staff that ran it, because that was the same crew that ran it at Survivor Series. Dude, it, if you really don't care, it's easier to buy one photo and get all your friends into one photo than to try to buy all these individual photos. Unless you just really care that you want the photo by yourself. Because I mean, they allow up to like 4 or 5 people. My mom, my mom came and she took pictures with wrestlers, and she's like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" But I'm dead ass serious. We were sitting there. We met JCJ, Joe Hendry, uh, yeah, JCJ and Joe Hendry. But I also got one with Oos and Shawn Michaels. But my mom specifically with Joe Hendry, and I forgot the other person. Like, who the fuck are these people? And I'm like, but it's easier to do it as a group. I will say this though: the people that run WWE World, if you get on their good side, they will love you to death. I can. They will move heaven and earth to make sure that you get what you know paid for. Um, WWE World as a whole, not that bad. It's not that bad. I just don't like the fact A, you don't have a military discount. Um, was it? A, you don't have a military discount. B, you should if you're really trying to maximize on these pictures, there should not be a sold out. C, um, I can't stand the podcasts because they had a bunch of podcasts. People were sitting in the middle of like, don't get me wrong, Shannon Sharp is cool. Why the hell is he there again? Daniel Cormier, I get it. It's a TKO thing. Um, a lot of people like doing podcasts. It is counterintuitive to me at a WWE world because if you're gonna build a ring, you might as well have matches, which is what they did, but it should be constant matches so it keeps people entertained, right?
Right.
Um, There were random superstars walking around WWE World. Nikita Lyons was one of them. I saw her mush a dude who kind of got too close, rightfully so. but yeah, it's nuts. It's the concept of WWE World. I get. I just wished a couple of things that they fine tuned, but other than that, it was pretty good. Get rid of the podcast. What else? What the fuck else? I'll tell you everything offline because I felt like Ocean's 11 the way that I shot to make of this shit. But
Well, that will conclude our coverage of the news, and now a quick word from our sponsors.
So, Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
Use promo code WrestlingWithE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE WrestleMania 42, Night 1 and 2. It took place in Paradise, Nevada at Allegiant Stadium. Attendance for Night 1, which we'll talk about now, was 50,816. You could probably put an asterisk on that because from home it seemed like it was not nearly as full, and considering like what it seemed like, those numbers were like a couple of days before it. It didn't seem like they immediately sold that many tickets. But I digress. I will say Night 1 was definitely a show that happened. Didn't necessarily feel like a WrestleMania to me. It felt like a random PLE with a high budget. And everything just kind of, from a TV perspective, kind of seemed off. I mean, Michael Cole was stumbling on his words. The cameramans were not where they needed to be, and even one cameraman fell over during the match. So they were definitely not on their game for Night 1 by any stretch of the imagination. Um, it just seemed like there wasn't a lot of. I mean, and it doesn't seem like there was a lot of enthusiasm going into Night 1 either. It did kind of seem like, let's get this shit over with, so to speak. But that was kind of my perspective of it. What say you, Kaliko?
well, I mean, you know me. Ever since they started doing 2-night WrestleManias, I always have a theme for both.
Mm-hmm. Yes. The show that didn't exist and the show that totally existed.
No, night one for me, or at least for me, was like night one's theme was Whiskey Tango Foxtrot because of the simple fact that it it felt like a TKO night. It truly felt like a TKO night from the I show. Granted, Speed did good. It just felt like a celebrity night. It was celebrity night, and you want to know how I know it was celebrity night? Because there were celebrities in the stands, or at least where I was sitting. You had the cast of Street Fighter sitting there. I'm, and this is the other reason I can tell, uh, because the audience that was there, or the audience that was in Celebrity Row night one, differed from night two. There were only a handful of people that were there both night one and night two. And I can count them on one finger. And they were Terrence Crawford, George Kittle,
Of course.
Jameer Gibbs, Deion Dawkins, Tony Hinchcliffe, and fuck, I can't think of his name. Uh O'Shea, Ice Cube's son, and crew, and the 520 podcast crew.
Okay.
Night one also had uh Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Wiggins, basketball players, obviously. They had the cast of Street Fighter there. And the sidebar, the motherfucker that plays Zangief is fucking wow. Anyways, he's big as fuck. Anyway,
Okay.
and the guy that plays Ryu, and the guy that plays Ryu is rather small. See, this is give you a little insight. But yeah, night one was like, what the fuck? It just felt like it felt more like a celebrity-esque show because, you know, Speed was there, Jelly Roll's there, McAfee's there, so therefore all the people kind of celebrity buddy, celebrity buddy were there, right?
Right.
So that was night one for me. Night two was wrestling night. It felt like night two book. It felt like Triple H booked night two and TKO booked night one. To be quite honest,
I wouldn't be surprised if that actually was the case.
because night one did not make any sense in the sense of there was a lot of explaining that needed to be done after the matches. Other than like, I mean, I get it. Speed puts Logan through a table. We gotta get that story, but that Orton Rhodes match was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, a lot was going on.
The live, the core match, which I thought was gonna be
But we'll,
like
we'll get into the matches. We could start with
okay,
yeah. Let's get into them.
let's go. Let's get into them because this shit is like pissing. And then let's not. And of course, I'm getting into that black bitch that cussed me out on the way outside the stadium. I kind of wanted to drop kick her in the kneecaps, but we'll go there.
Okay, so Kaliko had a match after WrestleMania in the parking lot.
Night one.
Night one.
Night one.
Okay.
I mean, everyone had matches with the security after night one and two because people were getting arrested and banned and all this shit. But that's neither here nor there.
But let's get into it. The thing that kicked off WrestleMania, the whole shebang, was the Usos and LA Knight. Yeah. versus Logan Paul, Austin Theory, and ISO Speed. Gonna be honest, it was kind of messy. It was kind of all over the place. Low key, it was a wet fart in church, if I'm being completely honest. And it felt like it ended before it even got started. It was like, oh, all of these moves, blunt trust trauma, LA when night wins, and I was like, oh, that's it. Like it just kind of ended so abruptly. And I get that, ISO Speed, got the moment on Logan. But I felt like there was more you could do with all these guys. It was just it kind of felt like it was all for ISO Speed to have a match and to kind of cover things up more than, we don't have anything for these guys. We're going to give them this match, if that makes sense.
Well, it was basically for iShow Speed because they had his crew streaming uh they had his crew front row streaming as they were, doing the match. So essentially you had the crew filming WrestleMania while simultaneously the crew that was filming iShow Speed doing his vlog. So it was kind of that mesh up. Because his brother was there, his father was there, and rightfully so. I get it.
Right.
But that was just anything. I kind of get why they put it on ESPN because that was TKO going, hey, let's get some of iShow Speed's 50 million followers that watch him to tune into WWE.
Right.
Although I don't think they thought about the correlation between the two because as much as Logan Paul is as much as Logan Paul is a streamer, but the wrestling community respects him for better or for worse. They'll boo the shit out of him, but they respect the fact that like he's there full time doing the craft, so on and so forth.
Right.
Unlike a Speed where he's doing these one-offs and yeah, it'll get eyeballs from the casual people, and that's what they were trying to do. But after that, then what, right? Because iShow Speed being there didn't correlate to people being in the seats.
It most certainly did not.
And that's where the problem is. That's where WrestleMania's problem was. Well, at least for night one.
I mean, did you like the match at least?
I mean, I could have cared less, but my son loved the match. Shit, it's iShow Speed. He watches. It catches those people. The people that watches YouTube and knows who the fuck these guys are, it'll catch their eyeballs in a minute. But anybody over the age of 13, I mean, who the fuck? I mean, not even 13. I'd say 16. Anyone over the age of 16, you're not really gonna, you're really not gonna know who the fuck these people are. I mean,
Well, it sounds like your son would have given this 5 stars, but how many
oh,
stars did
he's
you?
giving it. He gives it 5 stars just off the rip. Just iShow Speed, shit. The whole reason he wanted to go to night one was because of iShow Speed and Cody
Oh,
Rhodes. That's about it.
well, at least there was one person in the seat for ISO Speed.
No shit.
But how many stars do you give it?
It is, I mean, what, like 2.5 at best, and that's me. And you know me, I love the Usos, but I know they use the Usos as a filler with the Vision for LA Knight to get to yeah, it was just kind of hodgepodged in there, to be quite honest.
No, I mean, I agree. We're on the same wavelength at this point. 2.5 on my part as well. I'm assuming that Uncle Dave watched this show.
Oh, you know I'm about to. You know what I'm. You know I'm pulling it up. You already know. And if that mother effer did it, he had to have, right?
Of course, it's literally the biggest show
He, I
of the year.
mean,
Maybe not the
he would
year
have
yet.
had to. Oh, there we go. Now we have the ultimate Super Bowl wrestling edition of Guess That Rating. Da-da-da-da-da.
All right, so if
So
we,
we gave it 2.5.
oh, he gave it 2.5
Or
too.
I gave it. No, I gave it 2.5. You
Okay,
gave it 2.5.
he's definitely not going to be as favorable as us. 1 7/5.
Higher.
Two,
Higher.
2.5.
2.5. We start off on the right foot. See this? You
Okay,
see this?
vibing with Uncle Dave.
We're vibing with Dave, right?
Our second match, Jacob Fatu defeated Drew McIntyre in an unsanctioned match, 14 minutes, 10 seconds. Thought this was a good match. Good intensity by both guys. Maybe not as violent as it could have been, considering how violent we know both guys could get. But also, we were at WrestleMania and on ESPN to a lesser degree. So,
Right.
you
Exactly.
could,
They put an unsanctioned violence match on ESPN.
yeah. So, I mean, you were kind of climbing your way up from that point. But considering what they had to work with and considering other things on this card, I would say that they did the best with what they had. And, I don't know where Drew kind of goes from here because, he's kind of lost everything at this point. But I mean, it made logical sense for Jacob to actually get the W, considering what we saw on Raw, the Monday after. So obviously they're building Jacob. So for what they were doing, I think that it actually worked out quite well. What say you?
I mean, it worked out because you kind of figured. I mean, their big three this year that they're trying to deal with is Fatu, Rhea, and I forgot the third one. I totally forgot the third one who's going to be the guy. They have three people that they are high on this year. And I knew Jacob and
I mean, when was they never not high on Rhea? I mean, they've always been high on Rhea.
but Rhea's in that realm where Charlotte was
Yes.
years ago. Like always high card, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense.
No, absolutely. Like I said, John
That
Cena of pro wrestling of the women's division.
pretty much. So that's what I'm saying. So it's her, Rhea. I can't think of the third, and but it'll come to me. But yeah, this match kind of made sense for Jacob to win. I mean, Drew was antagonizing him the whole time, and it kind of, as much as I hate to say it, Drew losing, it gives him that modicum of truth in all of his promos, right? Of getting screwed over, fucked over by management, by the upper people. So it kind of keeps him in that lane where he can be a unabated, unapologetic truth teller. And I kind of like that for him, to be quite honest.
But I mean, it also it's a double sided, a double edged sword because then you can't necessarily have him win as well because then it just kind of falls to the wayside,
I
so to
mean,
speak.
he'll get a couple of wins. I think he's gonna get his comeuppance. I think his beef is more with the all this is in the what the fuck is his name? Adam Pearsons of the world, more so than wrestlers.
Not wrong. So, how many stars you give this one?
Um, Considering it was an unsanctioned match and technically it was not supposed to. It's weird because they have these unsanctioned matches, but yet they have someone pin somebody. It makes no sense to me. Three, 3.5, just based on that. Like, how do you have an unsanctioned match, but the winner is by pinfall? But that just throws me off.
I will give it. Do I want to give it 3.5?
Ooh, just do it.
I'll, I want to give it 3. I'll go with 3.
Oh, three. Look at you.
It was
Hey,
good.
Mira.
It was good, but it wasn't, it, they understood the assignment, but I was never. It wasn't one of the most fully invested matches I was in WrestleMania. Um, Uncle Dave,
Uncle Dave.
3.5.
Higher.
3 7/5.
Higher.
4 1/4.
4.25.
Okay. Uncle Dave was
Shot
vibing.
the shot the shit out of me, Tommy.
Yeah.
For an unsanctioned match. Anyways.
Now we got fatal 4-way tag team match for the women's tag team championships. Literally the only tag titles defended on both nights of WrestleMania. Um, Brie Bella and Paige defeated Nia Jackson, Last Legend, Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss, Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. I'm not gonna lie, I popped for Paige. I'm glad that she got the pop that she did, and I'm glad that she came back. This is home to her, so it's only right that she came home. And once she came back, it kind of became the Paige show. Like, it didn't matter who else was in the match, they wanted to see Paige, which, obviously. She was able to get some good offense in, and, the goals bumped for her properly, which, obviously they would. They know how to wrestle her.
Hmm.
Considering she'd be the rustiest person in the ring. Um,
Yes.
but, they knew how to walk around it and make her look good. The match as a whole, very clusterfuckery. Like, I don't think I ever quite knew who was legal and who wasn't legal. Like, it was always very, um,
I mean, that usually happens in a
and
fatal four-way
yeah,
88
and it was
tax.
just weird. It was weird to begin with because, like, it was all one from each person could be in the match, and usually it's two people in the ring at all times of the 4 tag teams. So it was just
Hmm.
kind of all over the place to begin with. But I mean, it was a good moment to see Paige win the championship. Low key, I kind of wanted Lara and Bailey to win because, like, that's been the story arc for, literally a year at this
Sometime.
point. Um,
Pretty much.
but I mean, considering that, once Paige came out, there was all bets was off. They wasn't going to go home happy unless Paige won. That kind of sucks, but for them at least. But you know, you gotta pivot. So they pivoted, and it was at the expense of Bailey and Lyra, unfortunately. But
Hmm.
still, again, a good, nice moment for Paige. What say you?
I mean, the moment Paige came back, I was like, oh, she's winning. It's over.
Right.
Which makes me wonder if the Bella twins weren't injured, if Nikki wasn't injured, how would that match? Who would have won that match?
I think it would have been Bailey and Lyra. I really think that.
And that's where I'm like, so it kind of. throws the what ifism in it. I would have thought Nia and Lash would have retained, but that's just me.
Mm,
Um, but I get it. I get it. Paige came back. Everyone was happy. Paige came back. People kind of knew. The buzz in the city was Paige was coming back, so it wasn't nothing new. It's just we needed it confirmed, and once it was confirmed, everyone was like, "Hell yeah!"
right.
So I mean, but it's good to see Paige back. I mean, not even just in the sense of in WWE, but I mean, considering that whole neck issue that she was going through, like for that to be cleared for her to actually even wrestle, and I'm hoping that she's able to write the rest of the chapter of pretty much unfulfilled book because she had so much potential.
Oh yeah. And I mean, like her her stint in AEW, the crowd never got behind her. Like they really, abused her, if I'm being
Because
honest.
I mean, because
So,
I mean, even though she started in the Indies, they still seen her as WWE homegirl. Same as, I mean, Sasha, WWE homegirl.
right. So, I mean, she was always going to get the biggest pop going home because obviously that crowd knows who she is. So, it's only right that she is where she's supposed to be. I mean,
Yeah,
considering yes, she was, indie at one point, but I feel like she was more known for her time in WWE more than anything. Like I feel like she's maybe spent more time in WWE than she did on the indies. So I mean,
I
it's kind of give
mean,
and take.
they made a movie about her fucking being in this. Yeah,
I mean, she was born
so
into it, so there's that.
there you go. So I'm just saying.
Yeah. How many stars you give it?
Uh, I mean, 2.5. Other than Paige coming back, everything else just seemed kind of off.
Agreed. 2.5. Oh, Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dizzle, Uncle Dizzle,
1 7/5.
higher,
2.5.
higher. I'm surprised too. I'll give him
Okay then. 3.
2.75.
Damn it. Got me with those.
That that 3/4.
So Uncle Dave is saying he liked this match more than we did. Oh, interesting.
I mean, I think he just like that Page came back.
I mean,
But
is he
bonus points.
known for liking Paige? I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, he loves the Bucks and the Tokyo Dome. God knows if he loves Page.
Very true. All right, we got Becky Lynch defeating AJ Lee to capture the Intercontinental Championship in 8 minutes 15 seconds. I actually really like this match. I liked that they set up the whole issue with the referee to begin with. It was prevalent through the match. Becky Lynch, by nefarious means, takes out AJ Lee with the turnbuckle. Um, Considering their other matches were so long and they did a lot less, they did so much for doing so little in so little time, I should say. And I think that all of it really worked for me. I think that they accomplished a lot. That enjoyable match in a bottle in a contained amount of time. I think like the last match was like 25 minutes or something. So
I mean,
honestly,
yeah, they give him time. Yeah.
like this all worked for me. I think that it capitalized on both girls' strength. What say you?
Um, Becky getting the win was not out of the realm because they need. I mean, considering that they are trying to keep her from being in the world title picture, her carrying this title is probably what's best to keep, keep heat on her and keep her out of the world title picture.
Right.
Um, from a wrestling perspective, it wasn't near what they've done previously, but from a story perspective, it made sense. Because it was just Becky doing whatever Becky needed to do to win,
Right.
irregardless. So that was kind of like the crux of the story. Like, now the question is just, okay, Becky won, AJ lost. Is AJ just going home? Is she just chilling? And what's next for Becky as far as her run? Because as much as she's practically been carrying this mid card title.
Right.
To be quite honest.
And I mean, she's been doing a good job with it as well. I mean, she put over Lyra, she put over, Maxine.
Maxine.
Um, you know, Maddie unfortunately undid everything that she did with Maxine by, dragging her down, but, I digress. Um, but yeah, I mean, she's trying her best with what she has, and, what they do after she wrestles is up to them.
True.
But I do believe AJ said that she wasn't going to be she'll be away for a while, but she will be coming back. So probably around SummerSlam, I'd say.
Question it. I mean, hopefully she's not beefing with Becky anytime soon. I don't think the AJ Lee experiment has been as fruitful as they hoped.
Mm, elaborate.
Because you would have thought AJ would have kind of had a bigger pop than what they thought. Other than the hardcore wrestling fan, the casual wrestling
I feel like she got
fan.
a good enough pop. I mean, again, she's AJ, but also she's been there for a couple of months, so that good, nice to see you again. Pop fades.
I mean, it fades even more when she comes back, and it's like she's only been back a handful of times.
True. How many stars you give this?
Um, 2.5. Because it was short. I mean, granted, with the exception of Cody, especially with a handful of matches on this night, like maybe two or three, everything felt short.
I mean, everything was short. Um, Out of 7 matches, four
Or
of
like
them,
commercial mania.
did not go over, did not meet 10 minutes. So
Yeah, because it was commercial mania.
did it was the commercials worse on night one than they was on night two? Because I had the ability to actually speed up the commercials. So, and maybe some were actually edited out. I don't know. But did it seem like night two had less commercials? Because it seemed like it didn't. Like it did.
I mean, night two felt like it just went straight to wrestling, and people had time to cook.
Okay. So,
Maybe because it felt like it was more wrestling focused than celebrity storyline focused.
okay, I gotcha.
That's what it's. I mean, that could be the case because, like I said, night one was kind of like, what the fuck?
Like I said, it kind of seemed like they just wanted to get night one out of the way. We didn't sell a lot of tickets to this shit, even though the people that did buy tickets, spent an excruciating amount of money for it. So, we're not going to give them the absolute best show that we could.
I mean, especially the people that bought like those 2-day passes. It's fucking.
Um, I'm going to give this 3.5. I like the story. I actually like that it was short. They understood the assignment. They executed it perfectly. My opinion.
Mm, fair enough.
I'm gonna say Uncle Dave gave this a 3.
Uncle Dave did not give it a 3.
Higher or lower?
I mean, lower.
2.5.
Now you tripping. It's higher.
Um, I said 3, and then I said two and a
Yeah,
half. So that's leaves
yeah.
2 and 7/5.
2 and 7/5. Two and that 3/4. Yep.
Okay. Now we have Gunther defeating Seth Rollins in 17 minutes and 56 seconds. I felt like this was a good match, and it should have been. I should have been more invested into it. But considering like there was no like storyline getting into it, it was hard to get invested, especially considering that Paul Heyman did not come out with Gunther. So there was never that, looming threat of Paul Heyman doing something nefarious. Obviously Braun Breaker came back and cost him the match, which, storyline purposes, works. And Gunther finally gets a W at WrestleMania after 3 fucking years, so that was good. Um, but yeah, it was hard to get invested when there wasn't a lot to sink your teeth into. What say you, Khalil?
Considering this match was not on everyone's bingo card, but most people in that audience thought that this was the match of the night.
Yeah,
From a pure wrestling standpoint, and everything made sense in the way that Seth lost, um, due to the fact that Braun Breaker came back. So it was, as much as people didn't care about the storyline aspect of how they got in the ring, the outcome actually kind of circumvented that because of the fact that him coming back kind of kept Seth from keeping his eye on the prize. Um, so that made sense. And then, of course, they set up the whole spear thing for Braun, in which he's just stopped running down that hill because you just did not have the right angle on that spear. But yeah, I mean, the right guy won. It was a really, really solid match. And I mean, you can't get better than that. That was the match of the night, to be quite honest.
I
In
agree with
my
that.
in my opinion, it was a match of the night one.
No, I agree with that. It was definitely the best, the one of the better matches. But again, it was hard, storyline purposes because they only had 2 weeks to build it. But yeah, no, the match itself. I mean, anytime you're going to have Gunther versus Seth Rollins, it's going to be a banger.
Exactamundo.
How many stars you give this?
I, 4. I mean, this is a solid 4. I mean, you know what? 4.25. I give it 4.25 because they turned chicken shit into chicken salad and made you actually care.
I will give it 4. Alright. Then we have the Women's World Championship match. Liv Morgan actually no, we have the Uncle Dave. I think that you stole Uncle Dave's rating. 4.25.
Higher.
4.5.
4.5. See, he gave it 4.5.
Okay. All right.
But we all agree this wasn't the match of night one.
Oh
So
yeah,
there
for
you go.
sure. Now we have Liv Morgan defeating Stephanie McClure to win the Women's World Championship in 6 minutes and 50 seconds. It's weird that Rhea and Jay had a similar concept to their match, but executed it so much better. I feel like the Gaga and the interference and Liv's entrance took away a lot from this match. I understand like the reason why it was short because Liv was injured. She had that lump on her head. Completely respectable. But I feel like they could have did a lot more with a lot less, and quite arguably one of Stephanie McCore's less good matches, which is insane because Stephanie is known for having, bangers, and I don't even feel like it was a big moment for Liv, honestly. Like, winning the title at WrestleMania, it should have been a bigger moment, and it just didn't feel. It felt a little bit empty, honestly. Maybe it was the music video as well that that dampened that, but it felt so less than what it needed to be, considering what type of match it was supposed to be. You know what I mean? Did we lose Kaliko? Was Kaliko here at all?
Yep,
Oh, there he
I
is.
am here. I'm always here. Now, where we at? Stephanie and Liv. If most disappointing match was a thing, this was it. Because I love Liv. I love Stephanie. I thought the fact that it was personal would have added an extra oomph to it, but it just seemed like they didn't have enough time to let it cook. And then on top of the fact that I get what they were trying to do. They were emphasizing Liv's single, which, newsflash, once that happened, I was like, oh, she's winning. Anyways, um, and yeah, it just seemed like all the beef that they had didn't translate into good in-ring chemistry, unlike Punk and Roman. Um, I was good with either one winning, but Steph won, so it kind of I get it. She's on top of the division. She can kind of run it around. Steph, I guess, based on how it goes Monday, they still got shit to finish. Although the match itself, it left a lot to be desired because they only gave them 6 minutes. They could only get so much in 6 minutes. It took longer to get their interested in than to get the match in. And it would have been okay with the interests if the match was a banger. And I don't think this was probably in their top 5 matches against each other, let alone anything else.
How many stars you give this?
Um, it was 2. And that's sad coming from a Stephanie and Liv fan like myself. I just felt like they really should have had more time to cook.
Right, so I mean, Stephanie records in the match, so that automatically gives it a 4 stars. But the match left a lot to be desired, so that subtracts a half a star. Um, Liv Morgan's music video subtracts a star and a half itself. Um, so yeah, we're at, as much as I hate to say it, as much as I hurt, my heart hurts to give Stephanie McClure a 2-star match. I think that I wouldn't feel. I mean, I could maybe bump it up to 2.5 because Stephanie was in it, but yeah, it's kind of hard to justify, right? But yeah, um, I can't give Stephanie a solid 2. It needs to be at least a 2.5. 2.5. All right, Uncle Dave, thinking. 1.5. Kaliko? Did we lose Kaliko? Was Kaliko here to begin with? Liv and Stephanie, 1.5 stars.
Ooh, you man.
No, I gave them 2.5, but I'm saying Dave Meltzer gave them 1.5.
1.5 higher.
2?
2.
Okay. Um, that brings us to the main event, the last match. Night 1. WWE Undisputed Championship match. Cody Rhodes defeated um
Randy Orton.
Randy Orton in 22 minutes and 45 seconds. You know, considering what this could have been on both ends of the spectrum, I think that they did, and I know this is probably a controversial take on it. I think that they did the best that they could with what was available to them, and they still had a decent match. I think all of the bullshit with TKO and Pat McAfee and low-key, I'll say it. I feel bad for Pat because he did not want to be in this position. He did not want to be there and ruin the main event of WrestleMania. But it was the position he was put in, and he had to do the best that he could. And I think, considering how he worked with Triple H or creative to get himself out of there for the majority of the match, kudos to him to we actually respect pro wrestling enough to know when something is the drizzling shits, and respect these two guys as well. So, back to my point, considering that all the bullshit with TKO, Randy Orton may or may not have a severe back injury, may not be returning. Who knows? We don't know. Rumor and innuendo. Um, they did as the best they could with what they had. I think Cody did a good job bouncing from heel to face. I think Randy did a good job being that tweener. And I did actually think that the ending was poetic because it kind of ended how it started. Cody got distracted by Drew and it cost him the Elimination Chamber. Randy got distracted by Pat and, Cody took advantage. Why Cody Rhodes, why Randy Orton RKO'd Pat when he was on his side, we don't know. But, we also do kind of know. It kind of got a pop from the crowd as well. So, again, they did, considering that this could have been a hell of a lot worse, and I do emphasize a hell of a lot worse, I think they contained it to what they could have. Um, and I mean, and then you look at the opposite end of that spectrum, what it could have been if, TKO did not interfere in it, if,
True.
Randy was healthy, if they actually did
Yes.
play on, the 20 years of, history between the two guys. There was
True.
there's so many what ifs in this that go positive and negative. Again, it could have been so much better, and it also on the opposite spectrum could have been a whole lot worse. So considering all of those factors, I would have taken this as a win, in all honesty. But
Really.
that is my perspective. What is yours?
I mean, from the beginning, the entrances were very long for the match, which, given, okay, main event match, it seemed like the one consensus in the crowd amongst us is that we all couldn't stand McAfee. Uh,
Right.
uh, Even though we couldn't stand McAfee, what we couldn't stand was Jelly Roll jumping in, splashing McAfee. Uh, what we really didn't get was why McAfee gets splashed, goes out on a stretcher. We're happy, and the motherfucker comes back running down the ramp with a neck break. And what really confused you is that the count was apparently slow. Randy felt some type of way and RKO'd him. They got some splaining to do. So that's what gave it to me that what the fuck aspect. It just the match didn't make sense. And then of course Cody wins and we get the after shit where Randy could have done that during the match, I guess. Because this would have made sense if Randy did that, kicked him in the match, kind of no contest. He took the belt and ran his way off. You know what I mean? But for
Yeah.
all that to happen after Randy loses, it's kind of like, ugh.
I also feel like for, a WrestleMania, you want that last moment. And this was definitely in the negative column. You want that last moment of, the pyro going off, to celebrate with, whoever won. And the crowd didn't get that because Randy, attacked Cody, and it just kind of left, it kind of ended with like, okay, that happened. Like, it wasn't like, yay, Randy beat him up, or, you know, it just kind of fell flat. And I don't think that
Yeah,
you want to end WrestleMania on a flat note. I think you want to end WrestleMania on, a
on
note
a
that
high note.
on where people will say like, "Oh, that was good. I like that," or "That sucked. I wanted Randy to win," but some type of emotion, and it was just the emotion was just flat. If I'm being honest.
I mean, yeah, I get it. It, the way that match just transpired, it just didn't make sense. And I mean, it did make sense to the audience. We were basically going with the I Love Lucy. You got some explaining to do, to be quite honest.
Right. I mean, there is no explaining to do, honestly, because Pat McAfee is leaving, and I mean, it was rumored in innuendo that we would have Pat McAfee and Randy Orton versus Jelly Roll and Cody Rhodes at Backlash, but both parties pulled out of the match. They didn't want to be a part of it. Um,
Thank God.
Rightfully so. I mean, Pat and Jelly, actually respects pro wrestling and the guys and the business. So, they're aware that it was not what they were doing was not best for business but they got kind of looped into it, unfortunately. So, good on them for, putting the, that don't work for me, brother.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, but it if I rated that match, it honestly, the way it transpired from start to finish, 2.5.
Really?
Because people were cheering the biggest console, the biggest, let me see, through line is that people were cheering that McAfee got his ass handed to him. Other than that, what else did you have to look forward to? But then again, I kind of got to give them props because they didn't do what they did last year and did right by Cody this year, what they should have done last year.
Right. And we don't know if Randy is, physically able at this point to continue anything with his back injury. So, a lot of things are up in the air at this point. So, I
Oh
mean,
yeah, he did mention the back, so yeah, he
it was a safe bet to keep the belt on Cody, which is kind of hilarious to say considering that he almost broke his orbital bone in that match and could barely see. And like he got colored the hard way.
pretty much. I mean, he ate it. I mean, say what you will, Cody does give his shit for the business. He is of that old school cloth.
That
So
he is. So you're giving this 2.5?
yeah, just because I mean, it didn't make. If you're watching it live, it did not make. I mean, well, sitting in the audience, it did not make sense. I mean, if you're just watching it with no commentary, whatever, I'm like, what the fuck?
Well, they did
Like,
something.
why did Randy Orton RKO McAfee? Why did Jelly Roll splash? I get why they did it, but it's just more like it didn't fit.
Um, like I said, it could have been a hell of a lot worse, and I didn't think what they did was that bad for what they were given. So I'm gonna give it. You know what? Fuck it. 4 stars.
Wow,
Yeah. Uncle Dave.
Uncle Dizave.
3.25.
Oh, higher,
3 7/5.
lower,
3.5.
3.5.
Okay. How the show as a whole? Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Bro, middle, because I mean, honestly, it's like middle ish because they better think they're lucky stars for Gunther versus Seth.
I am going to give it a thumbs down. It did not feel like a WrestleMania. It did not. It felt like a pre-show WrestleMania. Honestly, um, it just did not have that luster, and I don't think that even Gunther versus Seth is going to be remembered in a couple of years. I don't think that there was anything memorable on this show to last, years and years down the line. Obviously, when we get to night two, we'll talk about that. But night one
Right.
as a whole, I feel like this was on the level of WrestleMania 9. Honestly,
Mm, mm,
it was not on its own. It was not a good day at the office for a WrestleMania. So
mm.
thumbs down. Uh, all right. So that was night one, and we are wrestling with WrestleMania Night 2. It also took place in Paradise, Nevada, at Allegiant Stadium, and
Mm-hmm.
the attendance was 55,256. Um, and I mean, I will say this, I will be a bit more partial to this show because I have the I was there short. So it does get that star bump for, certain things. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it did seem like it was the I mean, you were at night one, but it did seem like night two was significantly more packed than night two, night one. And it did feel like there was just an air of big match feel for all of the matches. It seemed like there was personal grudges, things people cared about, and it did actually executed what it wanted to do pretty well, and was a pretty memorable show, if I'm being honest, for a lot of reasons. But what say you, Kaliko?
Yeah, for night two, for everything night one wasn't, night two was. Literally Kiss kept it simple. Keep it simple, stupid. And you could just tell it just felt like Triple H was like, we'll let y'all do this and then I'm gonna do this and then you'll see how it's done.
Well, let's get into it. Our first match on the card. The reason that I put my money down to go to the show, Oba Femi defeated Brock Lesnar in 4 minutes 45 seconds. I don't think anybody was expecting this to be a 90-minute match in the Tokyo Dome. This was, as advertised, big meaty men slapping meat. Um, and it delivered that. And, I said that this match was going to make Oba a megastar, a
Mm-hmm.
superstar. The way that Brock put this guy over, and considering what happens after the match, it drew Oba Femi into the stratosphere. I mean, who gets up from F5 and choke slams Brock Lesnar and pop up power bombs him? Brock
Yes.
Brock put Oba over like Rover. He sold for this guy so much. It shows you how much Brock actually believes in him, which is nice to see. And I think that the match did exactly what it was supposed to do and execute. And we have our Black Lesnar. We have Oba Femi. And honestly, I think that we're going to be seeing him as world champion sooner rather than later. So, yeah. And a bit of history. Oba Femi, the only black wrestler to pin Brock Lesnar ever. So, there's that as well. What say you, Kalika?
I I personally think honestly this is a good match. Although Brock Lesnar retired after the one black guy beats him, I gives a little racist. Ova basically did what every black wrestler. That's for Kofi. Kofi was trolling the whole time, and I'm here for it. Um, the right guy won. Brock retiring was not on the bingo card.
It sure wasn't.
Uh, the biggest thing was like Brock loses the one black guy and he just quits wrestling. I'm like, damn, has he ever lost to a black guy in wrestling? Now you gotta be like looking at all his matches. But the right guy won. And Oba became a big star this night. So congrats to Oba. Brock is kind of dipping. I don't know if it's because of the lawsuit shit that popped out or because he just said fuck it. But either way, he's out.
I mean, there's a few rumors out there. One is that rumor and innuendo states that they wanted Brock to retire at SummerSlam against Gunther. Gunther retiring him because it's going to be in Minnesota. And Brock was like, "That don't work for me, brother." For whatever reason,
Mm-hmm.
he might not like Gunther. You know, as you will, with that.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously he likes Oba. I mean, he wouldn't have put him over the way that he did. So maybe he just said, and because this was not a planned moment by any stretch of the imagination. Like Triple H was like, we did not see this coming. This was Brock doing what Brock wanted to do. Some people are saying that Brock is actually injured or is dealing with health issues, which I mean it's a possibility for sure. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so maybe he felt something in that match and felt I don't know what this is, might not be good. Maybe just call it quits here. I'm at WrestleMania, biggest match of that I could get at. Why not just
Biggest payday of his career. Yep.
yeah, let's just pull the trigger now. So I mean there's a lot of speculation. Only Brock really knows at this point. And probably Paul Heyman as well. Um but yeah, that was a hard moment to get through. So I'm still not quite over the shock that Brock Lesnar retired. But how many how many stars do you give this? Kaliko?
Yep, I'm still here. Uh, to me, over Brock, solid. I mean, it was solid. I before for what it did. It did what it was basically Goldberg versus uh Lesnar at 33, except this time Lesnar became on the other end of it.
I agree. 4 stars. Then we have a 6-pack ladder match involving for the Intercontinental Championship. Penta defeated Javon Evans, Dragon Lee, DJ McDonough, Rusev, and Rey Mysterio in 15 minutes 10 seconds. I think that this was a nice, proper ladder match. I mean, they didn't necessarily do anything new or innovative that we haven't seen, but I think that there was just a lot of characters that people were really invested in that made it, enjoyable. A lot of people wanted Javon, a lot of people wanted Penta. Nobody's not going to cheer for Rey Mysterio at this point. And considering that we just got off the cups of Brock Lesnar retiring, and people may be being a little upset about that. For these guys to put on the match that they did and get the crowd back into the wrestling, they definitely succeeded. And I do think the right person won. Penta absolutely deserved the WrestleMania moment, and he got it. Winning the ladder match. So I think, all that considering, it was a pretty big success. What say you, Kaliko?
Um, honestly, I think Javion stood out in this match to me. He really showed his ass off in this match. So did Penta. Um, JD, the Canadian Destroyer on the ladder was a good spot. Javion hitting his cutter was a good spot. It was just a bunch of high flying everywhere. And you could tell the matchup of the people who were trying to be more grounded, which, to be quite honest, I mean, other than Rusev, everyone else was flying everywhere.
Rachel?
So, and Rusev was just the anchor. to everyone else sailing in the air. So it was a really good match. I liked it.
How many stars you give this one?
4.5 because it was really it was 15 minutes. It was not too long. Bunch of good spots, and yeah, you can't. I mean, as far as a ladder match, it's pretty good, really up there.
I agree. Let's go 4.5. Gotta give that I was there bump. Um, we need to talk Dave Meltzer. The Oba Brock Lesnar match. I would
Mm-hmm.
say that he gave that 3.5,
Higher
4.
4.
Okay. And the ladder match, I think that he loved this. This was 4 7/5.
You man, you cheat. We gonna have to get you tested.
I just know what Dave likes, unfortunately. This totally screamed Uncle Dave loves.
I
Um,
know what Dave likes. I know what Dave wants. I know what Dave. Jesus.
uh, United States Championship match. Trick Williams with Little Yachty defeated Sami Zayn in 7 minutes 10 seconds. Definitely had the crowd into it. A solid match. Great way to actually execute, a celebrity in the match. Yachty only got involved when he was attacked by Singh. Despite being the heels, everybody popped for Yachty, helping Trick and helping him win the title. All around, successful, I'd say. Um, Good match, not too long. Literally the second shortest match on WrestleMania, but I think that it did what it needed to do in the time. I would say Trick Williams didn't need the United States Championship. I think you could put him in the world title picture and nobody would bat an eye at it. But I digress. What say you, Kaliko?
Um, I mean, Trick winning the title. Hopefully, that leads to him and Melo jumping at it. Uh, the biggest crux is Sami Zayn. It's like, where does he go from here? Because it just seems like, I mean, Sammy's a good hand, but the problem is that he needs to develop his character a lot. He needs a character enhancement bad. And it's weird that he went from like underdog to heel to face to heel to bloodline to face to underdog, and people don't like him now. It's just weird. So we just got to figure out where they're going to take Sammy from here, because I mean, he could be stuck in that I'm a good hand, but I don't have anything for me role, like Ziggler or Bray was at one point, kind of like a gatekeeper.
Mm.
So, and that's something you don't want to be.
Oh, for sure. Well, how many stars you give this one?
Um, 3.5. I mean, I give Yachty a little credit for jumping in only when need be.
I agree with that. 3.5. Uncle Dave gave this 3 1/4.
Lower,
3.
3 on the dot.
Hmm. Then we have the Demon Finn Balor defeating Dominic Mysterio in a street fight in 10 minutes 30 seconds. That was a good match. Good to see the Demon back out. Um, I think that Dominic's facial expressions were fantastic, and how he was hiding behind Michael Cole and everything. I thought the match itself was not as intense as it could have been, and maybe a little forgettable, honestly. Wasn't a bad match in the moment for sure. Um,
Hmm.
but it feels like it was supposed to be obviously the blow off match, but they're continuing the rivalry. So I mean, I kind of don't understand what was the point of bringing out the demon if this wasn't the end. But you
The
know,
sell tickets.
yeah, yeah, I know. But yeah, it was a good match for sure, and the right person won in the right way. But I think that people will just there was a certain amount of downtime, and this match kind of fell victim to that.
I mean, I mean, when the demon came out, everybody was just happy to have it back,
True.
and I think that is what carried the match. It was like, oh yay, we got the demon back, and it went from there. I mean, Dominic did his thing, um, being the ingratiating loser that he became. Um, but yeah, it doesn't make sense for the demon to come out and then the next night Finn comes. Because if they're still going to go with the rivalry, you would think that the demon coming out would have been at the end more so than the beginning.
Right. How many stars?
So,
Oh, I'll continue.
uh, I mean, yeah, how many stars? Three. It was a good three.
I give it 3.5. It was solid 3, but the I was there bump gives it the 3.5. Uncle Dave gave this a 3 as well. Kaliko? Kaliko, you there? Was Kaliko really here to begin with? We don't know. But here we are. Dave Meltzer, 3.
Dave Meltzer, a little higher.
3.5?
3.5.
Gotcha. Alright. Then we have Rhea Ripley defeating Jade Cargill for the Women's Championship. I think that this in 10 minutes and 10 seconds. And honestly, this match was everything the other match, the Liv Morgan Stephanie McCoy match should have been, honestly. There was a bit of Gaga. Um, Rhea and Jade actually had a pretty good match. Jade actually looked really good in this match as well. Um, Popped for the one winged angel by Jade as well. Um, there was some gaga between, the baddies and Io, and I think that added to the match rather than took away from it. And I think that honestly, everything worked really well with each other. And I think that they came out with a good, memorable match. And I think that was pretty solid. What say you, Kaliko?
Yeah, I mean, if you had told me Jade Cargill would have had a better match than Stephanie McCurry at WrestleMania, I would have been asking what crack you smoking. So, and that's not a knock on Jade. I just think, story wise and ability wise, you would have put more money on Bakur having the better match. With that being said, Jade really did do her thing, and Rhea was probably the perfect dance partner for her to have this showcase that because it was two more stronger women working to their strengths rather than her having to deal with like a high flyer or a ground technician. It it kind of was like Hogan Warrior esque, where they really didn't need to do a lot of moves, but the moves that they did showed like it hurt and showed power and believability. So I do like that part. Of course, the baddies coming out and EO coming out, it added to the match, but it didn't really interfere with the match, which is good. Um, Maria getting the win, we kind of saw that coming.
Hmm.
Um, but all in all, I will say this is probably Jade's best match since she's been in the WWE. So she should be proud of the match that she put on at her first WrestleMania, to be quite honest.
I think it was definitely her biggest match at WrestleMania. I do think that her match with Naomi last year did a lot for her. But Naomi, was in like a whole little level last year. So I mean,
Right,
there's that. But it was definitely one of Jade's better matches. And it does seem like when WrestleMania and the lights are bright for Jade, she does actually show off. I mean, she did have that match with no, it's not with Tiffany at SummerSlam. So I mean, she does in short intervals. She does do very well.
right. And I mean, yeah, Tiffany, yeah, that match was really good. And that was a good because the styles clashed and it kind of worked. I just think in this instance, uh, it felt like she was at another level
Right. I
in
mean,
this
there's a
match.
difference between Tiffany Stratton and the biggest star WWE has with Rhea Ripley.
Mm, right.
How many stars you give this?
I mean, for Jade, I give it a 4 because I mean, just considering that people thought that she was just bland as oatmeal. Yeah, I mean, I give her the props.
I give it 4.5. I think it
Mm,
executed everything perfectly. Gave Rhea a good moment. Gave shine to Jade. Everybody looked good, and even EO got a little moment as well. So can't knock it. Good match. Um, Uncle Dave gave this a 3.5.
lower,
Three and a quarter.
surprisingly.
3.25.
3.25.
Hmm. Uncle Dave, not a fan. All right. Then we have the main event, the last match, the thing to close out WrestleMania, the World Heavyweight Championship match. Roman Reigns defeated CM Punk in 33 minutes and 55 seconds. Um, I thought that this was a great match. I think that it was quite arguably the best match Roman Reigns has maybe ever had, honestly. It was definitely one of his better WrestleMania matches for sure. I think everything just clicked really well for both guys. They told a great story. Obviously, this was the most longest WrestleMania match, the whole weekend. By a lot, honestly. Um, and yeah, I would just say that the one thing that took me out of the match a bit was when Roman hit Punk with the steps and didn't get disqualified. That kind of pissed me off a bit. Because I'm a stickler for the rules. So if the referee saw you did it and you did it, then why wasn't you disqualified? So that little small bit, upset me, but I think everything else really worked really well. And yeah, um, personally, I would have liked if Punk won, if I'm being completely honest. But I understand where they're going with Roman. business was good under Roman's reign. So, trying to get back to basics, honestly. So I would say, all in all, it was a success. What say you?
Um, this match, the match of the weekend,
100%.
uh, the match of the Mania, of all the Manias. Um, it's probably up there in the sense of Roman's best match. Actually, scratch that. This is Roman's best match. And this is the reason why every match Roman has had, even in this bloodline run, always has shenanigans in it as far as interference, right?
Right. Gaga.
Yes, Gaga. So for him to win a match, and that was always CM Punk's impetus on him. Like, you can't do it on your own. You always needed help, whether it was Solo or Sammy or Jimmy or Jay or Paul or or a turnbuckle getting snapped or some weird fucking funky shit, right?
Right.
So for them to go 33 minutes one on one with no interference, with no jelly roll, no crazy celebrity or anything of that nature. It was a masterpiece in a master class in a one-on-one setting. I agree with you on the sentiment that the steel step part probably was not needed, because clearly that's a DQ. I mean,
Right.
um, other than that, it told a great story. That was probably one of the best stories told since 39.
You're talking about Roman Cody the first time.
Right, because you saw everything where and trust me, I wanted Punk to win, and I was more disappointed of Punk losing than, like, don't get me wrong, Roman winning, I'm not hateful of that. I'm just more disappointed in him losing,
Right.
because this was the first Mania where he was main eventing on his own. The entrance was crazy for both. Punk coming out for 2 minutes and having that stadium silent before his music hit was something else. Him coming out, them playing his Ring of Honor entrance was something. So it was a lot. But with that being said, I get why Roman won. I hate that Punk lost. Yes, I bought the belt. Yes, I got the collector's belt. Yes, it's in my room. Yes, I'm trying to get it signed by both. But but with that being said, yeah, I mean, Roman even admits it. He hates Punk, but that was magic. And if he's saying that, I mean, that tells you something. Um, I can't say anything more. I mean, it was a great storytelling. Punk did everything he could, and the gassing out was gassing out. And it was funny because some of the things Punk did to show that he was old was rather intriguing, right? And this is me sitting at ringside. Like, you know how he used to throw that little calf kick um, off the ropes? It wasn't as high. Um, him doing a couple of moves, it wasn't as spry as he used to be. And it just told the great story of Punk did everything he could and dug in every bag he can to win, and yet Roman just hit that other gear. And I will say this, man, Roman came out looking like a goddamn god, man. That motherfucker, whoever his dietitian is, motherfucker, he needs a raise. But of course, back to the match. Yes, the right guy won. It was a masterclass. And I don't know if you noticed it, but I did not see one motherfucker. Because usually, you know how these matches are. Like, some people kind of like, some matches people leave, or some people kind of like talking to each other during the match or whatever. Where I was, there was not one. Everybody's eyes was concentrated on this match from start to finish.
Oh yeah, there was definitely there was one very vocal kid, maybe 2 rows down from me, that was very much in the CM Punk camp. Um, very disappointed after the match. But yeah, there was primarily my section was Roman Reigns oriented. So I mean, me and that kid was the only CM Punk fans, I
I
think.
mean,
But
I mean, me too. I was a CM Punk guy, and my kid was Roman, and I'm like, what the fuck?
you did not raise him right.
I mean, he likes John Cena. I failed him enough.
Yeah, yeah. How many stars do you give this?
In a night full of threes and fours, this was a 5.
I would say that this was absolute perfection. And
But that stair step got you. I
you know me too well, yeah. Um, but it was absolute perfection. It was a WrestleMania. It's everything that a WrestleMania main
Mania
event
match should
should
have been
be.
exactly.
Every match should be like that at WrestleMania, and unfortunately, they're just not. So, and I think that match is going to go down in history as one of the better ones for sure.
Oh
Um,
yeah, especially considering this weekend, it's that this match is head and shoulders above every match on that card.
that being said, was it absolutely a 5-star match? It was, but that one steel step,
That stair step is gonna let you.
it, 4 7/5.
It's gonna eat you. I mean, I get why it eats you. I just don't let it eat me as much, considering that I've seen. I mean, they power bomb each other through tables and elbow drives through tables. So I can't, why would I DQ that when I'm literally am seeing the ref not doing his job in the sense of.
It's again, it's such a good match. Yes. And it shouldn't eat at me, but it does. So it for that again 4 7/5. But it was definitely a
Hey,
5-star match.
oh no, I mean, I get it. I get it. It's still a 5. I mean, just story wise, that's a 5. That's
Yeah.
probably Punk's best match in WWE since Money in the Bank
Um.
2011.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he's
I
had
mean, yeah, best match, like, without. Because I mean, the Lesnar match was good.
oh
That was pretty up there,
right.
but it was more of a street fight. So that's why I mean, as far as like wrestling wise, that match is pretty much up there with
This
it.
was top five, I would say, for both men, for both guys.
I mean, Roman is number one. It ain't even ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. Because I mean, the fact that he won without interference. Because I mean, Taker, it wasn't the best.
No.
Um, I mean, his best match was probably what, Seth.
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, either Seth or Dean, I would say. But if we're talking about Tribal Chief Roman Reigns, then we're probably talking Cody 39. Um,
But even then, that got marred by Solo. So that's why I. I mean, don't get me wrong; it's a good match. I'm just saying, could, when you look at the emphasis that the whole shtick on Roman was, you couldn't do it without any bullshit.
right.
Only for him to win without the bullshit says a lot.
And Uncle Dave, he gave this five.
You know him too well.
No, I'll admit it. I actually cheated on that one. I saw earlier, some time ago, that he gave it 5 stars online. So yeah, I cheated.
I mean, but yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, but then again, you think about it. I mean, he gave him I mean, the
Oh,
five, the 5-star treatment. I mean, it's very rare that he gives it a 5-star treatment. So,
really? I mean, honestly, I don't remember the last match that got 5 stars at WrestleMania. This might have been the first.
yeah.
All right, night two. Thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
Oh, thumbs up. Night two was keep it simple, stupid. Night one was night one was TKO night. Night two was Triple H night,
I
and
give
I will
this.
stick to that script till I die.
I give this 2 thumbs up. Honestly, it was just a fantastic night for pro
Oh
wrestling.
yeah. Oh yeah. Night two was the reason we love pro wrestling. To
Now,
be quite honest,
the very complicated question: WrestleMania 42 as a whole.
as a
Thumbs up,
whole,
thumbs down, thumbs in the middle.
um, considering I was there both nights, overall, it's a thumbs up, barely, because night two really, really, really did a lot of heavy lifting for night one. It really, the lifting that night two did is uncanny. But it did do the lifting nonetheless.
I agree. I think that it was thumbs up, and it was mostly part. Night one had some good things on it, but
Oh yeah,
I mean, if
easily.
I would think that, if this was a 6 hour WrestleMania where both nights were combined into one night, like they used to do for WrestleMania. I
Oh,
think
you're talking
that
about the 8-hour marathon?
Yeah, the
Jesus,
eight
no.
hour marathons. I think that it would have still been a thumbs up because there was enough mixture of good and bad for it to be considered good, in my opinion.
Right, right. And that makes sense. I just think that even, yeah, you're right. It still would have been a thumbs up, but night two did some Herculean effort lifting that to pull night one from the depths of the shadow. Just saying.
The funny thing is, I think if night two was on its own and night one never happened, I think that this might have been like a top 15
Top,
at least
Top 10 WrestleMania, easy.
yeah. And ironically enough, I feel like everything that we'll be talking about going forward about this show will be about night two, whether it's Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar retiring, or the match with Roman Reigns and Punk. I don't think we'll be talking about, a lot of other things on this card, unfortunately.
I
Um,
mean, ladder match was good. The ladder match. I would talk about the ladder match. The ladder match. Um, this was Cargill's best night.
but I mean,
Um,
night one would easily be forgotten.
oh yes. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Night one would be gone. Yeah.
but it's just weird because it's so polarizing opposites of each other, and yet they're associated with each other, completely and utterly. So you can't really separate them. But it was like two completely different shows. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
right. I think that will conclude our coverage of WrestleMania 42 in this episode as a whole. Um, Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment. But on YouTube and Castbox, this was sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. Join us next Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews. Join us this Monday as we interview Chris Kendricks. Tuesday as we interview Dave Jameson, and Wednesday Leslie Lorenzo. Um, and follow the show at Wrestling with E for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
Oh my God. I am Khalito. And then of course I got footage from all of this. And to the black motherfucker who sat there and tried to cuss me out while I was trying to take chairs out of WrestleMania. I just wish I could drop kick you in your kneecap because Jesus Christ, security at WrestleMania for a fucking chair is just criminal. People got banned and arrested just trying to snatch chairs. Now, the ones who just tried to take them without the wristbands, yes, you deserve to die, and I hope you go to hell. But,
Wow. Tell them how you really feel,
but
Kaliko.
well, no, no, no. The scratch, 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 scratch. To the people who was trying to do it and had a blatant disregard, because there were instances where kids got hit with a chair and got smacked. All that. They deserve to go to hell. The ones who just tried to take it and walk away and got caught and they gave it up, cool. But for security as a whole, bro, it's not that crucial. Night two, they were like tackling cats on the floor trying to snatch them. Like same as last year. It's just like it's like what the fuck? What can you do?
Yeah. No complaints from me.
But I
Um,
still want to drop kick security because that was just yeah.
they're definitely not going to have that
Uh,
problem next year in Saudi.
that's if this shit in Iran don't go down. But it,
Yeah.
because
That's another.
you do know what they said the alternative was, right?
Tennessee, right?
I heard Cleveland,
Um.
and if it's Cleveland, you could just yeah, nah, I'm good. No disrespect to Cleveland, but yeah, nah. Just saying.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
And then to you, sir, you could have just came straight to my room. I had a whole room for you. You could have just chilled. I mean, I could have got you the Capri Sun that you wanted.
Hey, folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show. Support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.